Hello everybody, Fletch here, and today I read that football, the game as we know it, may be set to change. Marco Van Basten, FIFA's technical director, has today announced several points to improve the game. So, without further ado, let's analyse each key point. Spoiler alert, I'm not a big fan of his rule changes, as you will later see. Now, I should say that these proposed changes are not going to be enforced anytime soon. They're just for a big meeting that they're going to have to further discuss them or further discuss ideas that are being put in place for these potential plans. But I have to say, I don't agree with the majority of them. The main rule he wants to bring into football, which has caused quite a lot of controversy and is under the spotlight, is he wants to scrap the offside rule, something that's currently coming into effect in every Man United game in the past few weeks. Yeah, that was not a completely overused or stolen joke in any way. Anyway, bad attempt at comedy aside, this to me is a ridiculous idea. Although the amount of goals possibly scored from this action may be fun to watch, however, the offside law is a law that has been needed to make clearer for some time now. Nearly every week, there's always a controversial decision to do with an offside call that has caused debate amongst fans and pundits alike. But rather than clear up this issue, they decide that they are instead going to focus on the amount of pushing and pulling that's happening inside a penalty area from a set piece. A rule that was brought in at the beginning of the season, enforced for a couple of months by only one referee before everybody moved on and forgot all about it. So my plan would be, rather than get rid of the law, rewrite it, make the law crystal clear as possible, or better yet, create some sort of challenge system like they have in tennis. As soon as a controversial moment, whether it be a foul or an offside call, the manager, captain, or even person involved, should the other two not quite see what's happened, can go to the referee, offer a challenge, and if their challenge is successful, they keep 3 challenges, say, or they will lose one of 3 challenges. Something like that. It makes the game better, it will keep the flow of the game, and it would just be a much better point than scrapping the law altogether. So his next point is about sin bin. He wants to sin bin the players, with his intent being to put fear into those players, making sure they realise the consequences of their possible actions should they step out of line. This fear is about making sure they realise that their team can go down to 10 players or 9 players against a full strength squad of the opposition. Again, though, this law creates plenty of problems, mainly from a referee's point of view, because if they're inconsistent, it can cause a lot of debate again. We've seen in the past referees have sent off players when they shouldn't have had to have gone, or they haven't sent off players when they should have gone. So again, this sin bin thing could create more problems than resolve problems. On a similar sort of note, however, he's also expressed that only captains should be allowed to talk to referees, something I already thought was in place, but apparently not. But so far, these rules that I've explained seem to be relieving referees and linesmen of all their responsibilities, taking them out the firing line, so to speak, whenever they mess up a big call in a game. It just seems ridiculous, and it seems to be protecting linesmen and referees and trying to point the blame on the players, making it seem like it's their fault. It just seems ridiculous to me. Another law change he's planning on enforcing is that penalties should be replaced with ice hockey style penalties. This is where a player would take a 25-meter run up for a penalty in which he dribbles the ball and then tries to beat the keeper that way. While this does seem interesting from a FIFA point of view in the FIFA games, obviously, in real life, I can't see this being the right call no matter when the penalty is to be taken. The phrase, "if it ain't broke, don't fix it," spring to mind here. A similar phrase can be used for his other points. He wants to make the game divided into 4 quarters. Again, really? Do you really want to make this an American-styled sport? Having two halves of 45 minutes works, just don't change it. He also suggested cutting the amount of games played in a year, which is completely ridiculous. The fans want more football, the footballers get paid enough money to want or should deserve to play football. Let them play football, let us watch plenty of football. Don't need to change it. That is a ridiculous idea. Probably the worst idea he's put forward here. So as you can tell, I'm not a big fan of his current rule changes, and it means a lot when the only one I kind of agree with is the one where it says he wants to clamp down on time wasting. Does this even need to be discussed? I mean, this has to go without saying, surely. But as always, I'm always interested to hear your thoughts on these proposed rule changes. Am I not seeing the bigger picture here? Do you possibly agree with me? Let me know your opinions, and I'll speak to you again soon.